so you'll
And
forget it.
and what he was saying was just the complete opposite of what I had been told up to that point. So I tried it, and then
You're a truth seeker.
you know, and I lost like 150 pounds. But then over the last few years, you kind of hit a plateau or you start to lose motivation, and then I've just been kind of stagnating around this point essentially. And it's just a lack of consistency, because it is hard, right? I mean, people crave certain foods, and it's hard to really unlearn those things.
Yeah, it takes direct effort, and and with direct effort comes direct understanding, which is like the harder part for a lot of people. Because if everyone had the exact right answer, they'd probably be a little more prone to do the right thing. But generally, people don't care all that much, and then they're given like bullshit fucking content, and it just equals like nothing. Like I remember when I was 25 years old, I was about 10% body fat. I was ripped. Don't get me wrong. If I took my shirt off, everyone would have noticed that I was ripped. But I looked like a normal guy, right, with a shirt on. And I'm just for reference, obviously. And it the way that I interact with the gym now that I'm not, I was told that I could get bigger forever. Like fast for like I know you're coming from the weight loss, but I was a skinny guy. So the bodybuilders were telling me like you can get big forever. And I was like, no shit, really? That's lit. So I started working out for 4 years straight as hard as I could. And I said, why can't I get over 165 without like literally pounding my mouth with food? Why won't my muscles get bigger? Why am I gaining fat in my stomach? And then I realized it's all about hormone profile. And then when I started digging into hormone profile, I realized that
Hormones play a huge role.
it's just like I just learned the game. I just started researching hormones in pharmacology, and I was like, oh, it's just there's just science involved. Like some people's capacity to get to a certain size is capped by their genetic limits and their hormone profile. You can add to that hormone profile by doing steroids, or you can just accept reality, and you can just get a little bit better and stay healthy. But I'm never going to be 200 pounds of solid muscle off steroids. Period. End of story. There's 0% chance. I tried it. I tried it
Right. And I'm never going to, necessarily, you know, have your profile either, right? Because, everyone's coming from a genetic starting point,
Oh,
right? And it's just about,
I'm on testosterone now, by the way.
oh,
Just
okay.
for reference. I'm bigger than I used to be.
It's just about everyone just needs to optimize the things that they have some control over, right? And then just kind of accept whatever's left.
It's just so true, dude. I was watching totally fucking off topic, but I had a friend. I was watching. Have you ever seen those videos of like guys explaining their experience in jail in like just like an open way, like they're just talking about it? This dude was
Yeah.
this dude was talking about how his fucking white ass. This dude was 120 pound, 5'10". He went to jail for 1 year for getting in a drunk driving accident. He said he'd never been in trouble before. He said the day he got in there, he got raped by four black dudes every single day until he left, and he got HIV. And he was telling his story, and he was saying like how basically the jail he was in was just like a fucking rape fest. And I was like, dude, think like I could have so easily been fucking caught up and gone to jail, dude. Like I just am like, holy shit, like that shit's so real. Like this dude was like didn't find out he had AIDS until like 6 years out of jail. Like
Well, it just shows like how important even like what maybe small choices are, right? And like how they can drastically change your life.
he was drinking and driving from the party. This was a nerd. This was not some badass. This was a literal dude who made a mistake, and he knew he was going to pay for it because somebody died, and he was okay with that. But he didn't understand he was going to get butt raped in jail the fucking day he gets in. And I started going down this rabbit hole of like all this jail shit, and dude, I was like, I am never leaving the straight and narrow ever again. Other than
I mean, maybe though there's also like on the flip side, right? There's those stories of the men who get married and have all these women after them in jail too.
well, every guy that's in jail that is socially calibrated has a lot of women. If you are in jail, women are attracted to you, as far as like on an instinctual level. Period. Like I've been there.
Correct. Yeah.
It's weird. It's and they won't like get married to your ass or anything, but like something in the fact that you decided, like, I don't give a fuck. I'll shoot a motherfucker right in the forehead. Girls like that shit because it's instinctual. It just means like you would deep down you would do something if you had to.
It's the bad boy syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I just stay away from that shit a little bit more now. I mean, girls can assume whatever they want, but if I meet a chick, I'm like, I ain't no Billy Badass anymore.
Yeah, but
Want to play that
jail
shit?
sucks.
Shit, like, yeah, you ain't gonna get in trouble for it. I'm gonna be getting butt raped. So, and you won't be there. That will be me. Because the jails around here are pretty savage, to be quite frank. In Maryland, that they send all the bad boys to, that like you'd be lucky to make it out of there if you have a 5 year or less sentence. Because when dudes have a 50-year sentence and they're all in the same joint, they just rape you. They just don't care. It's just like they're animals because they're in jail for 50 years. It changes who you are. I wish dude, I could have been in jail so fucking easy. I am so when I was young. Now I'm talking young, young, young. Like before I had a damn clue what was going on. I was on drugs, doing crazy stuff, like running away, fucking stealing cars. I never shot anyone or did anything like that. Like I never did anything violent, other than like I got to fight every once in a while. I got my ass beat a fucking shit ton though. I got to talk about. I want to look at some crypto news. Sunday's so dry for crypto news.
Buy and hold. There's your crypto news.
Dogecoin up 10.47% on the daily. It's going to the moon. That's what like a normal
Um,
YouTuber would do.
Don't even get me started with that stuff.
What if in 5 years you guys see me just totally bitboying?
Yeah.
I won't lose my shit. They'll be like, dude, we used to talk to that guy who's honest and everything. He's a fucking cock now.
I'll send Sam over and make him bitch slap you like Chris Rock.
Sam will be in the background like, yep, XRP's going to the
Bro, I had like $89,000 in XRP and I sold my bag for Hex. Um, this is, going back a couple of years here. So, but yeah, I mean, I was talking with somebody last night and early on in crypto days, we're talking like early 2017, like when Polynex Exchange was still available in the US and stuff. Like literally, you could buy it for what I call stupid zeros. And I remember having like 250,000 like bag of XRP when it was like 0.000 whatever 2 type thing, and just I was trading it back then, you know. But that's the power of hold. Even if I'm not a proponent of XRP or anything, but that's the power of hold. Like we were talking to that gentleman from New Zealand, is the fact that, sometimes, and Wales is right about this. You need to just get your bag and put your hands under your ass and sit and wait, because people don't understand, like, things don't happen like overnight type thing. But in 2 years, I've talked about this before, is like, I remember exiting from, I haven't used Bittrex in like over 3 years. But so just before I was pulling my cash out, I bought Mana token to Central Land, and I transferred it to a Mu wallet. Mu wallets were before MetaMask, and it was like $634 or something like that. And I promptly, honestly forgot about it for like 3 years. And just by happenstance, I had it pinned, the wallet address pinned, and I clicked on the damn thing, and that $634, $638 had turned into like $24,000. And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, which laptop do I have this on?
Yeah.
And literally it was on a broken laptop. And, long story short is, I was able to bring the laptop in. I had obviously spilled something on the keyboard, so the motherboard was wrecked. It wasn't the power supply, which I initially thought, and the hard drives was failing. And I'm like, bro, how do we like fix this hard drive. Like, what is it going to cost me? And he's like, it's like $500 for external drive. It's a 3-day recovery process. We may lose some of your data. I'm like, so he calls me up and says, Mr. Holtzman, we recovered your data. And I'm like, okay, I'll be right over. I took it home, promptly went home, got into found the I had saved to a Word document. Like, and this is back in the day. I use better security now, but it was cleaning schedule. And I'm like, there's my keys. I'm like, boom, transfer it to Coinbase, boom, out. I sent those guys 3 Domino's pizzas. I'm like, I called them up. I'm like, what kind of pizza do you guys like? Yeah. So it's stupid. But I mean, the long story short is just buy and hold.
Unless it's cell token.
What's that?
Unless it's cell token.
Cell token, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, well, and that's funny is like
Celsius.
I experimented with Celsius back in the day with some garbage coins. Because give you like freepulse.io is going to have that drip, faucet where you can claim like free pulse when Pulse launches. I used to play around with those type of things. I was total degen, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And I just like having fun and experimenting with new things. But I didn't like the fact, and this is like 3 years ago, like it got up to where I had like maybe $100 or something like trivial. And I was like, I didn't like the fact that my coins were on somebody's things. I didn't have control of my keys, and I just pulled out of that experiment, way back when. But, understand a lot more today. And I'm just like, holy shit. Like, the fact that people got into this stuff and totally got wrecked. I mean, especially, what's the gentleman's name? Omar Bam. I don't know if you guys know him. I know him back from streaming days.
Yeah, I've seen his shit.
Yeah, and he's a good guy. I mean, as far as personality-wise type thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, that guy, he said it. Open space on Twitter and stuff is he got wrecked. He had his stuff locked up there, and I know, his backstory and stuff like that from back in the day and stuff. And it's a damn shame. But also he kind of went the.
But there's a thing that's fucked up though, because today I even did it myself where I just changed my proof of address. So I just my address hasn't been officially changed, right? But I received mail at a new address, Portugal. I got it. I got a letter with the information, my name on it. Now I was thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, let me see if I can do something. So I changed my address. Now everything's perfect. Everything went back to normal. My withdrawal limits all came back. I even ended up getting the Binance card that they're sending me to the mail that I could use to pay, to top up, cash back, all this bullshit. I got an extra account on crypto.com. I fixed all my accounts just because of that one proof of address. I haven't officially changed my residency. I think it's deeper than what people are thinking. It's not really where you live, it's the address of what you're proving. So if you're taking your address, let's say in New Orleans or New York, and you're proving your address with that one, well, then no wonder everyone's getting problems, everyone's having these problems. But if we could figure out a way to get people's addresses changed, right? You just go on vacation and then you just get you ask someone to send you your a receipt or a bill or something to that house. Then you have proof that you're at that house. It could be an Airbnb. The next thing you know, you have to change the address and you're good, and you could do any type of crypto you want. Kind of smart idea in my opinion for those who have the option. I know American people don't really have the option to do that, but I just figured it out today. That just changing your address allows you to have more freedom with your crypto with the exchanges. So if anyone's blocked, it could be because of the address you provided, not where you are actually, because you could always run a VPN, but change your address so like that it makes it look like you're in a different spot. Your flexibility with your crypto may change, because it did for me.
Yeah, I don't even like screw with exchanges or anything anymore. In fact, one of the things that I'm going to be looking into, because I've been a Coinbase user since what 2016. and when I initially got into Bitcoin. And I've used exchanges in the past, but I just stay away. I don't keep any of my stuff on there. But I'm actually looking for a better alternative to Coinbase. If anybody has any ideas.
KuCoin. KuCoin, you don't have to put your IDs in. You don't have to do KYC as an American or anyone. So you could just trade, purchase crypto, different types of crypto. They have a very, very big selection of crypto. But I'm just
Trust
talking
coin.
about like how you could use your crypto, right? So like you don't have to keep anything on an exchange. You could just send Litecoin straight to your, like that's what I do, right? Anytime I need something on an exchange or I want something, I just send Litecoin. I send any my Monero, whatever it is, I just send it to the exchange because they don't give a shit because you're just putting money on, right? And then you just spend it. That's what I do with crypto.com. Sometimes I need to spend something. I have like what $500 on my card in case anything happens. But that's for a while. This is a nice beach, man. You sure you want to go here?
Hexdex. I forget exactly who it is. It might be Funding Jim. But he was talking about a trust token.
I think it was True USD. True USD.
No.
Is that?
No. Yeah, it might be TUSD. Yeah, the ticker.
Yeah, it's TUSD.
But it's
Because he was like
essentially an
saying that you
escrow
purchase it with
service.
different. There's gonna be TUSD.
So
It's
it's not
T0PN.
subject to a lot of the regulations that the exchanges may be. So then that may be something to look into. It's called a trust coin.
Okay, I'll go back look at Gary's his videos and stuff. Gary.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yep.
Yeah, Funding Jim. I really respect the guy. I mean, he's solid and very conservative on his advice and stuff. Very stable. One of the people I resonate with. Actually, I'm thinking GRC. You've had Gary on before, right?
Yes, sir. I have 2 times, I think.
Yeah, he's
a beast.
He is. He is solid. I just something that when I first met this guy, like I think it was just early live streams for Discord Syndicate and stuff like that. Was like I didn't know how to take him type thing. And I know there's a video out there somewhere where I was like, I even told him like I didn't like you when I first I thought he came across pompous type thing, but like as I listened to him and stuff, because I'm never one to like just make a premature judgment. And I'm like, no, this was me, not you. And I'm like, now, I mean, when I see him, talking with people and stuff like that, and helping people throughout, the crypto journey that we're all going on, type thing, he's got a lot of solid knowledge.
Yeah, he's a real estate. He's a real estate god too. He knows a lot about real estate. He knows a lot of the rules.
Yeah, and in fact, hopefully, I think I'll see him out there at PulseCon. But I'm looking forward to this housing market dip, especially in my area where things, have gone up 4 times the value, in the past 4 or 5 years. Because I'm going to do kind of similar thing you're doing, house hacking, the whole asset accumulation type thing. And I'm glad I didn't make that move in this past year, because I had the opportunity and I probably would have overbought and overpaid for a house, But yeah, house hacking is like, income generating assets. I love that concept.
Yeah, it's the best. It is.
Do you guys subscribe to the theory that like the housing market is going to be like the last thing to bottom, that it's kind of crypto stocks first and then housing last, like a few months later?
Pretty much. I kind of agree with the sentiment that the housing market should have to have a correction. I don't know how much the housing market can really crash. I don't know what a housing crash looks like. But I think I think we're in a macro. I think we're in a bear market. You know what I mean? Like a bear market that would take 18
Me too, but like the thing that worries me
could
is that I
happen.
think a lot of us are getting on the same page with our timelines of like, 3 months to the bottom for crypto, these sorts of things.
Well, I mean, 3 months. It's just X is a little variable because we just have a big catalyst. So it's kind of hard to put your finger on exactly what will happen, whether the price will go up or go down. I mean, but to just think the price will go up because of all this is rather silly. I mean, I'm not saying that's why I think we're waiting for trend reversal. It's retarded. If people think that people will keep speculative assets in a macro nightmare, you're stupid.
Yeah, and like for me, I just re-signed the lease here on my condo and for 1 year, and you know, realistically, I mean, 12 to 18 months for the bottom out of the housing market. Um, you know, even if it's shorter, 8 to 10 months.
What does a bottom out look like in the housing market?
Um, for me, in my specific area, I'm looking 30 to 40%. But it can
Wow.
be different in different areas. I mean, you're going to see some areas that you may see 60 to 70%. And
So
I know
more
that
like
sounds
volatile
ridiculous.
real estate. Well, there is volatile real estate in the city, and people are leaving the cities as well.
Yeah.
So it's like a double whammy down here. You think if you think motherfuckers are paying top dollar to get downtown, uh, the downtown Baltimore spots like they used to on the harbor, it's the truth. I mean, people used to like those spots because they did have some intrinsic value because you're on the harbor, all the restaurants and shit. And now it's just like the housing market bubbled so hard that people are like, wait, people have guns down here. I'm not fucking moving down here. You know what I mean? It's like everyone's strapped up down here and ready to fucking pop your head off for a fucking wristwatch.
Yeah.
The
I don't care
cities
what
are
anyone
overpriced
says.
and dangerous. That's the problem.
I don't care what anyone says. Richard Hart is so dead on when he says, "I don't want to. I don't. I'm not saying that's the only reason he doesn't want to come to the states, but boy, oh boy, I do not like being exposed to fucking gang members at the gas station regularly without knowing. You know, like you don't. Again, people's incentives to do things. You never know if they have a warrant out for their arrest. You never know if it's their and that's just where I'm from, ish. So like, again, nothing ever bad has happened to me. I've never seen anyone get murdered. I've seen dudes get stabbed up before. But like, uh, never have I seen a man get murdered. But you know, I still think about it a lot and wonder how realistic is it that that actually occurs to a single person in the day, and how much of it can you just uh, de-escalate risk by putting yourself in the right place, right time, with the right clothes on. Obviously, you don't want to be dressing with all your chains on and everything. That would be silly. What do you think, Walrus? How you doing today? If you're here,
Hey, what's up, brother? I didn't hear what was being said. I wasn't paying attention.
we were just talking about risk, like a little bit more thought of as like a. I always wonder, like, is the risk of just like being around in the city like actually high, or does it just seem like it's high because the media is all like crazy? I don't know. We could talk about crypto too now.
I think you're right, though. I mean, I think there are things that you can do, like just be smart, right? So it's just about, yeah, percentage wise, maybe you have a higher risk in the city, but maybe that's a risk you're willing to accept because you are a smart person, and you don't put
And I
yourself in
think
bad situations.
you can practice de-escalation skills. Like you really can. Like they're practicable. Like I walk around this earth in a constant state of de-escalation. Like I do not walk in around trying to start shit.
Right. And also try like making eye contact and like smiling or like nodding your head, just be a
Exactly.
pleasant person.
I just be looking around all the time. But everything down here is a little bit crazy right now, to be honest. And I wonder how long this bear market will last, Like I would assume. I'm wondering if this is the first bear market Hex is ever going to actually have seen, or if it's kind of just going to push forth in a little bit of a similar pattern. But to me, if you look at the chart and you look at the timeline, it seems like this will just be the first full-on bear market. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
per hex. Like I'm not saying I know what the price floor will be. I have no fucking clue. It could be 5 cents, could be 1 cent, could be half a cent, could be 12 cents as a floor. But I just don't.
I'm pretty sure
The
that
money's coming.
however long it lasts, we're gonna look back and wish it was longer. Like next bull cycle, we're gonna be like, oh, we wish it was like 6 months longer so we could buy more.
I
Yeah,
was
when
going to say that, but I
it,
didn't want to be the negative guy.
well, I think it's important though. Like we all know about dollar cost averaging and like keeping our money right, right? But so that's like I don't have to worry so much when I'm talking. But when I'm streaming and stuff, like I gotta think about who's listening. Like people will drop their whole bag on something the day you say it.
Oh yeah, but that's
For the rest of the year. And I think you can still mitigate risk a little bit by just letting people know, like, I have a feeling we could be down in the dumps for a little bit or a while, just to keep. But you should be. This is the best time to buy in history. When this does 12,000%, everyone's going to want to put a bullet in their fucking leg because they didn't buy enough.
yeah. Well,
10,000% or whatever, like on the next run.
DCA, but have a ladder down where you do a larger percentage the lower the price goes. But it doesn't mean like you don't buy anything
Yeah.
at all because, oh, I'm going to wait, right? Well,
Great
just
strat.
set up a ladder.
Yeah, like I just